everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, I would like to begin the show by taking special note of our American veterans and just saying thank you, risking your lives, and taking a part of your own lives to make this a better country. I would also like you to think today about an upcoming holiday, Christmas. Did you ever think of maybe writing a children's book about Christmas? Adding a little joy to children's lives? Well, my name's Vin Dacquino, and our next guest did exactly that. He wrote a children's book. Our guest today is Bobby Palazzo. Bobby,
Vinny,
let's talk writing.
let's talk.
Well, you stepped out of your life and all of a sudden decided, you know what? I'm going to write a children's book. But you are that special group of people, baby boomers. So you didn't really write this book for your children, more for your grandchildren.
Yes.
Bobby, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how this book came into existence.
Well, I've done a little bit of everything, Vinny, from my life. Coming up, did everything, found my niche, lost my niche, found my niche. So I said, let me tackle writing. I've been writing poems for as long as I can remember. I've got a collection of them. But the book with Angelo and two children, two boys, kind of say, Dad, you know, we were born, but it's a different life now. You enjoy the grandson more.
I know.
It's a different...
Half of my life is taken up by my grandchildren. That's what
I mean, you live and breathe with the kid, and it's what it is. He makes you, he lights you up. I guess my kids are the same.
Yep.
But you were too busy with life at the time. Now
That's
it's
right.
a little laid back, and you can enjoy your grandson.
Right. So one day you went to the city,
Yep.
and you were showing Angelo, your grandson, the lights and sounds of Christmas in New York City.
Right.
And you said, hey, I have an idea. And you wrote a book for Angelo.
Yeah, Christmas is a big holiday. I mean,
Yep.
you know, it's the culture. It's what we grew up with. So sharing it with him, it was his second Christmas, actually, not his first. His first, he was too young. He was born in August. But the second Christmas, when he was starting to realize things, he's seen the excitement, he read.
Weird guy.
No,
in a
he
red
saw
suit
what,
and a beard
what was
walking
going
around.
on, the lights, the craziness. I mean, in the city, it's just nuts. I mean, you know, Rockefeller Center, we went to see Santa Claus at Macy's. It was a big, you know, and you could see the excitement in his face, but not the understanding, you know, but he knows something was going on.
Now, you were a poet, but you had never really written a children's book.
No.
Now, did you go read some children's books to say, let's see, how do I want this to look? Or did it just sort of come naturally to you?
Well, you grow up with the kids, you read books, but this was what I wanted for him. It's, you know, it's basically looking at Christmas through the eyes of a toddler. You're recapturing the excitement that you had when your kids were young, and just seeing kids excited about the holiday, what it is.
Yep.
It's not the commercialized for the kids like it is for us. Well, we get it drilled into us from August till December 31st, and then it's these kids don't see that. They just see the excitement of what it is, the holiday, the presents, the food.
And Christmas, oh my goodness. I mean, it starts in July these days.
Exactly.
Some of the stores. We're not even at Thanksgiving, and we're already celebrating Christmas in some of the store windows.
Thanksgiving's like a lost holiday. Thanksgiving is a prelude to go shopping for Christmas. I mean, it's actually, it was Black Friday. Now it looks like Thursday. They're opening on Thursdays.
Our children today are growing up with the idea that Christmas is all about buying presents.
Right.
Is that what this book is about?
No, not at all.
Right?
It's about the family, the togetherness, the enjoying of the holidays, not the commercialization of the holiday, but what the holiday really is supposed to be. Not giving gifts. It's the family get together, the old camaraderie, friends, and all that stuff. The gifts back and forth, you know, and
Spirit.
it's the spirit. The music is a big part of it. I mean, Christmas music. There's nothing like it.
What would we do without Bing Crosby?
Without Bing Crosby, Johnny Mathis, Sinatra. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And as young as he is, he can sense something's going on.
That there's something special
about that holiday.
So you went about to capture all of this.
Right.
You've got this out, and hey, have you read it to him?
Yes, but he's still too young.
Too young.
He don't
Yep.
know. Like I tell him it's his book. He thinks it's his book that we gave it to him as a gift. In a year or two, I
doesn't
guess he'll
realize
get
it's
what it is.
dedicated to it.
Grandpa wrote a book for me, you know.
Well, you're going to do something special for us today. You're going to, first of all, you wanted to share some of the information from the back cover. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And there's also something very special on the back cover. Can I try to focus on this for a second? And check out what Bobby has put on this back cover. And there is a picture of the infamous grandchildren. Now you have two.
No, that's my grandson Angelo, my wife. She
Oh.
does look that young, my wife.
It's even there. Look at that.
She'll
Wow.
love that.
Yeah, she's going to love that.
She's my
You hear that?
inspiration. She was a big
Oh,
part of
good.
my
Is your wife?
inspiration. Her and my grandson were a big part of my
There he
inspiration.
is. Okay. So go ahead. You want to share something from the back
Okay, it's
cover?
just a recap of the book. It says Angelo's 16-month-old. He's old enough to know that something is going on. There's excitement everywhere, beautiful music, songs about the joy and cheer fill the air. There's mysterious bundles and boxes in all corners of the house, and there's a beautiful tree covered in lights and colorful balls in his house. There's magic in the air, and the adults keep pulling to Christmas. What is Christmas? Join Angelo as he experiences the events of Christmas with his family, the sights, sound, food, and fun. He meets Santa Claus and sees the 80-foot Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. Then on Christmas Day, he has lots of presents to open and play with along with his family, bringing back the memories of a child's experience of the holiday season. The chosen book recalls the joy and wonder of Christmas through the eyes of a toddler.
Nice. Nice. So it's all about being together. It's all about sharing love, sharing the spirit. Okay. Now, you also decided that what you wanted to do with this book is reach out to people. When I work with my writers, I have a writers group, and they always say to me, where do I begin? I want to write a book, but I just don't know where to begin. Probably the most important page of any book is the first page, because many readers open a book, look at it, and close it. So I'm going to do something special. I'm going to share with you the first page of this book. Wow! Lots of strange goings on around here, lots of excitement. I vaguely remember something like this about a year ago, but I was too young then to realize what was going on. I'm much older now, and I sense something different is going on than the normal. Hi, my name is Angelo. I am 16 months old. There is something in the air. I can feel it. The adults are really starting to act strange. Everyone seems so much happier and full of joy. Too much for my young mind to take in. Lots of nice Christmas music everywhere. People laughing, bundles and boxes being moved here and there. What is this Christmas thing I keep hearing about?
Sounds good. Sounds
We
good.
have the story through the eyes of an 18-month-old child. Very interesting. What made you decide to put this book in Angelo's words?
Just like I said, when we went down, and you just see the excitement, and you lost it. I mean, let's face it, we're all, Christmas is up to here at one point.
I know.
You lose it, and then you see it again. Like when your kids were young, you enjoyed it. It was
Yep.
great. They thinking Santa Claus, whatever. But now it's gone. It's been, my kids are 32 and 26, so it's long gone.
It gets difficult because I'm in the same era. We've been there. We've done this.
Yep.
And, after 50 plus Christmases, it's like, been there.
And you don't have to spend $1,000 on Angelo to make
No.
him happy. You give him a
That's
little truck, and
That's right.
and it's just the joy. Like I said, they play with the boxes.
Yep.
They don't care.
And-
but it's just his excitement made me want to put this in writing.
And it's a gift. Bobby, it's your gift to your grandchildren. I know. I just went through the whole thing where I just recently put my granddaughter she said, Papa, can you put me on one of the book covers? And I just did that. And my new book, Mary Loved Daisies, that's my granddaughter as a model on the front cover.
Beautiful.
And she was beautiful. And she is beautiful. And it was something I could leave for her. We need to teach our children what real life and real loving is all about. We live in a very difficult age.
It's crazy.
There's people dying all around us. There's so many horrible things going on. We're back in Iraq. It just doesn't end.
You got to stop the craziness.
Yep. And I actually find myself turning the news off sometimes.
Yep.
I don't want them to see all that's going on, and it's just frightening. So we have to bring back the beauty for our kids. And one of the ways to do it is to reach back into our own childhood. I have wonderful Christmas memories.
Oh, yes.
And if we can bring some of that, the sights, the smells, the sounds of Christmas, it's a gift. And I think as a grandfather, this is a wonderful thing you're doing. Is this going to be the one and only?
No, actually, there's another grandson on the way. So
So
I'm in trouble.
You better get another book.
My
cooking
wife,
quickly.
who is my inspiration in my life, she told me you should do a series of books with Angelo. You know, Easter, this, that. Angelo's first trip to Disney World. Unfortunately, life, you have to. I'm working, and I wish I had the time to be an author and just sit home and do
you
it.
had a very interesting. You were a real estate agent.
I'm
for a
still in
while.
real estate.
Still a real estate agent.
Still in real
so
estate.
You're out there, and it's a tumultuous time.
It was an easy market at one
Oh,
time.
man.
Just put a house on the
Yeah.
market and be gone.
Not
but now
so
it's,
easy
you got to
anymore.
work. You really got to work now.
Yeah.
But there's a couple. I have a couple in the works. I have a couple in the computer that I've started. I started a book about the neighborhood I grew up a long time ago, and I started actually meatballs from around the world. Grandpa's Bobby meatball recipes from around the world. I got about 15 or 16.
Oh wow.
I'm going to pursue that, and I have a bunch of poems. Maybe I may just get together, edit them here and there, and try and get that published. But
Now you were a poet for a long time.
I've written, yes,
You
a lot.
started. Well, now, where did you write those poems? In like journals, or what did you?
No, like sometimes a phrase will catch my mind, and I'll just type it. Or now you put them in your phone, but
Yeah.
I used to write them down on a piece of paper and then just go over it at my head, and then I would just continue it. Then just sit down and it just flows out. It just.
Yeah.
And then you clean it up here and there. You just change it here and there, and it just.
So you started writing poetry a while ago.
Oh my God! Yeah, just before I can remember, 16, 15, 16 years
Wow.
old. Yeah.
What did you write about in those days?
Heartbreak.
Ah, there you go.
Girlfriends break your heart,
Yeah.
and just life, good things. I mean, my nephew was born, my sister's first kid. Actually, when they were getting married, I wrote a poem about them for them.
Yeah.
My nephew was born. I wrote a poem for him, and it just, like I said,
Yeah.
it just flows. It just.
Poetry, in a lot of ways, is a lost art, and there's not as many people doing poetry as there used to be, but they're still doing it. I just tried something new. Emails to a Paranormal and Mary Loved Daisies are novels, but they're written in poetry, and they're 10-line poems, and there's 10 poems to a section, 3 sections to a chapter, 7 chapters to the book. And the entire thing is in verse. And the idea is to teach children that poetry is a wonderful way to get inside. And it explores some of the things that are in your head. And there's a lot of people that don't realize that we are individuals. And that some of the things you take for granted, the things that you call Bobby, are not necessarily the way everybody thinks. And sometimes you have to get in there and say, who is Bobby? What does he believe? And I hope you still have those poems from when you were 15 to 16.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I look at some of those. It's nice to go back and look at photographs of what you looked like at 16. But man, if you have a photograph of your mind, and that's what
At that time, yep.
that's what poetry is. It's a photograph of your mind. Where was your head? Not your face. Where was your head when you were 16? So you wrote about heartbreak. And Any other major things that
good
are
things.
you?
I mean, just like I said, my sister's wedding. Just things that go on in your life. You're right. It wasn't all heartbreak. It was good times, good
Yeah.
and it's basically, like I said, they just flow out. And I do go back and read them, and you say, wow. Where was you're 15, 16 years old, you
Yep.
barely know which end is up, and you're writing poems. But poems is, like you said, a lost art.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful to read. I mean,
Yeah.
not just, anybody's poem. You look at,
Do you usually rhyme or no rhyme?
no, rhyme,
Right.
yeah. And you find the words. It's amazing how you find the words
Yeah.
to fit.
Yeah,
You have
they
to
find you, don't they?
change the text of it once in a while just to get the words the right way, but they work.
Right.
It works. So.
Will we ever see the poems of Robert M. Palazzo?
Probably.
You're gonna
That's
try to get a
probably going to be
poetry
my
book
next.
together.
Like I said, my got to write for Santino, who's coming in December.
Oh, Santino.
But I said I got to know the kid's personality before I can write for him. So he'll get his book down the road.
Santino was a very famous name in The Godfather. Will you be calling him Sonny?
That's where my son got it from, Santino. My son likes the Italian names, the
Yeah.
Angelo, the Santino.
Santino and Angelo. Well, we have a nice surprise for you. In this book, there are 2 poems.
Yep.
So why don't you share the poems that are at the back of this book, Christmas for Angelo?
I wrote this poem when Angelo was born, a couple of days into his birth, and then the other one I wrote at his christening. The first one is Angelo. I have a new twinkle in my eye. I may tear up, so
Okay.
he's more than I need to get by. Every face that he makes is like a new picture to take. I wonder what he thinks in his little head as I sit and watch him as he lay in his bed. He can light up a room with a little smile. He makes my heart flutter and stand still for a while. I never realized how wonderful a grandson could be. He is all so precious and beautiful to me. I will treasure the moments as he learns and grows. I will always be there for you, my little Angelo.
Nice.
Then the second poem easily is Angelo again. As I sit and watch you lying there, I have to kiss your face, I have to touch your hair. You, my Angelo, a little charm. I can't hold you tight enough in my arms. There's so much love in my life, my friends, my family, my children, my wonderful wife. But now I found a different and special love. This is a love from heaven above. This love for you, my little boy, the love you are, my special joy. I can't explain the love I feel. I have to pinch you, Angelo, to make sure you are real. Our lives keep changing in so many ways. We turn the pages, the different days. But if this is all I'm going to get, I am happy now. My life is set. Thank you, God, for this little boy. Thank you, God, for all my joy. I am so proud, it has to show. Thank you, God, for my Angelo.
Wow. Nice. Very nice. Man, a whole lot of years ago, there I was, about 30 years old, and I had a little boy and a little girl. Now, 30 years later, I have a little boy and a little girl. Not necessarily my son and daughter, my grandson and granddaughter. And what a difference, what it does to a life. Because I have a different set of eyes. I have a different heart. I have a different mindset than I had all those years ago when, as you said, I was out there hustling every weekend, trying to make a buck, worrying about what to feed them instead of what to read them.
Right.
And it's a big difference. And I look at those kids, and when they say, Pop, hug me, man, never will you hear out of this mouth, not now. It's always now. And it's a whole different thing. And you want to say things to them and do things with them that you didn't do at your own. And there's a little bit of guilt because we're so busy then. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about Bobby the grandfather.
It's like you said, it is a different thing. We were growing up with our children when they were growing up. So you lose it.
You do.
My wife, fortunately enough, was home with the kids always.
Yep.
And she's a great mother, and she did right by them. She was always with them. But you're dealing out that. You know, you're home from work, back to bed, back to work the next day. You're running around. But now, Angelo, we're more mature. We understand what they are. I tell him, Angelo, how much does Grandpa love you? And I told him to say the whole world. And he gives you that whole world, and you melt. Like, oh, my God, it's just, you just, wow.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, your kids love you. I mean, you know, but now they're older.
But your head's in a different place. And that's,
exactly.
You know, and you realize there's one word I've grown to hate: later.
Yeah.
You know, you say later. Later never comes.
We've done it.
You know,
we're all guilty of it.
That's what happens. And you know that if you lose this moment, you've lost the moment. You say, yeah, I can do this later. Later doesn't come.
It's like anything. The kid,
you have to do it now. When the kid wants to hug, you have to do it now.
Like when you were young, the kids were growing up. You know, Daddy, could you do Daddy? You know, Daddy's working. Daddy's trying to, you know, you're scrambling. And like you said, later never comes.
And it's understandable, especially in today's economy. Mommy's working, Daddy's working.
Yeah.
Daddy's working 2 jobs, Mommy's working 2 jobs. It's a tough world. And it's also, keep a marriage together today is really tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. There's so much stress on people. And the ones who feel it the most are the kids.
Children aren't being brought up by their parents anymore. It's daycare, it's grandma, grandpa.
I am so, I never thought I'd be waiting at bus stops to pick up the kids to drive them home. I'm there, you know, and baking cookies and making dinner and doing homework and talking to teachers on the phone. I was on the phone this morning talking to my grandson's teacher. You know, I'll be going in there to do a book talk, so I can still hang on to who I am and what I am. But if I'm sitting doing a book and my grandson comes to me and said, I need help, that book waits.
Dropping it. Yep.
The book waits, because you learn a new set of values. You understand the importance of the world. You understand the importance of Christmas and giving and spirits. And you try to teach them that it isn't all about gifts, not store-bought gifts. This is a gift that you're giving Angelo that's priceless. It's priceless. Whether this book sells 1 million copies or not, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
This is about Angelo, and it's about your relationship with Angelo. So I talk to writers all the time, and I tell them it's not about being on the bestseller list. It's being on the top of your kids' list. It's being here now. It's living for today. And that's what it's all about. So if you have a story to tell, you need to tell it, and tell it to the kids and give it to them. I hope someday when I'm gone, my grandchildren and their children will pull up some of these books and say, I remember Grandpa, or I remember Papa. And that's what it's about. So now this next book, what are you going to do for Santino?
I don't know. I have to see what he's like.
What a great answer. What a great answer.
You know, Vinny, you're talking life. You know, you never realize, like, your kids grow up. You know, you picture them small, and you think, they're going to be small for, you know what? They don't. You know, they're from infants, and the next thing you're doing, you're kicking them in the backside to get going. You know,
I know.
And it's like this. You know, it's in a.
We were at a friend's house, and he said, oh, the baby fell asleep on the floor. So he reached up and he picked up the baby and put the baby in bed. And I said, hey, do that slowly, because one of these days you're going to go pick up that baby and you're going to see hair on its legs, because that's how quickly they grow.
My wife says, smell the youth. Smell the youth.
Well, you know, it's absolutely true that they just grow so quickly. Life goes by so fast, and writing captures those moments. Cameras can do it, but as I said before, you can always capture the face, but capture the mind and the heart, that takes writing.
I mean, this is going to be Angelo's Christmas for the rest of his life.
Rest of his life.
It's his
You're
life.
right.
That one Christmas. Hopefully, there's some other stuff down the road for Angelo and Santino together. Who knows? But we'll
you
see.
know, and what I especially liked about having you here today is people think you have to be a Harvard graduate to be a writer. You know, they come from all walks of life. People come in all different shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter who you are. It's what you make of who you are.
Exactly.
And those very special things, the everyday people who are out there have stories to tell. And there's more of us, these everyday people, than there are of those Harvard graduates. Not that there's anything wrong with being a Harvard graduate, except that I urge them to do the same thing you do.
Write a book.
Write a book about children, about life, about living, about who you are, what you want to be. Nurture their dreams. And you've done this for Angelo.
Yes.
I applaud you for doing that. I am thrilled that you're already thinking about Santino. I love what you said about, I can't write it yet. I don't know what Santino is going to be like.
Let's see who he is.
Personalize it. Make it happen. Put the kid on your lap every chance you can. Sing those songs that you used to sing when you were a child. Keep youth alive, keep life alive, keep the past alive. I do a lot of work with history. I tell people, if you do not teach the kids of today about their yesterday, you're stealing a piece of their
That's right.
tomorrow.
We did have a past.
Yep.
We have a past, all of us, the country, everybody.
With all that in mind, I want to thank you for being here today. Again, I want to remind you that there's a lot of people out there with a lot of stories. Again, I want to thank our American veterans for taking a little piece of their lives and giving it to us to make this a greater country. Let your children hear the good things. Let your grandchildren hear the good things.
Vinny, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here. A treat for us, a treat for you. Stay tuned. We have a whole lot more writers coming up. A pleasure to be here. A pleasure to see you. Thanks for tuning in.